Good morning. Today is Saturday, the 28th of September. We're in the Five Bogs, and the fall colors I thought would be peak today. They're actually not that far off of where they were last week, which is not a bad thing. It gives you a little more time with fall autumn colors up here. So far today, the temperature for the morning weather report is 55 degrees, not freezing, not warm. As long as you keep moving, you're fine. And we're going to talk about a new project in the formation stage today. Cover that in detail. We are going to sweep through a couple of areas looking for sign, and we'll see where that brings us. Beyond that, the day will take its form, and we'll see what we find. We are following up in an area where there has been activity. And oh, it's a bird. Never mind. I was interrupted by whatever that bird is up there. Probably... Actually, I don't know what it is. Maybe a mockingbird? I don't know. I'd be curious to know. Seems like there's a few of them out here in this field in Vermont. But a study is a exploration, come to conclusion, and share your findings situation, not as much discussion, although, comments are fine, but getting into the skirmishes you'll find in a Facebook group, I'm not really thinking that's productive for the sake of the project. It is a hard look into the failings of the community, and yes, given the frailties of the community and many of its egos, you will have butthurt. That's one of the largest, let's start with that one. That's one of the largest flaws in the community, is the fact that it's not so much a community as a glorified popularity contest with all the crap that goes along with it. And multiple examples. Again, I've been doing Bigfooting since 2003, so I've seen more than a few things come and go. So I do have a few insights to share. That's probably part of the exercise here too. And again, people such as, you know who you are. Once upon a time, I mused about writing a book about the subject from this angle. And said individual was very quick to threaten to sue. An interesting parallel analogy, although I'm not accusing him of anything remotely close. When the Vince McMahon Netflix series came out, he attempted to buy the series like the day before, while he made a very butt-covering kind of comment on Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. And he really made it sound like he was trying to bury it. So when you know who you are basically wanted to threaten to sue me over a book, it's like at no point when I mused about the book did I have any indication made or intended to make any indication that he was going to be any part of the subject matter. So what are you so bothered by, sir? Many are the bones and the skeletons in the closet of many of the Bigfooters. We could get into some real dirt, but that's not the purpose of the exercise. The stance being taken is, why are all these shenanigan level bullshit things going to get in the way of the actual solution to the mystery? And there are more than a few people that have no interest in solving it. For a very simple reason. That's when the cash cow stops giving milk, if you know what I mean. That's not hard. Matt Moneymaker has no interest in the solution to this mystery, because then he actually has to go out and live his worst nightmare, which is he actually has to go and get a real job. I'm sure that terrifies him. I'm not going to go out of my way to use names, but I'm also not going to hide from it either. A couple of the things to illustrate the points that I will do in the study or in the project are not... You can't really do it without naming names and going down into detail. And unfortunately for some, that might mean you have hurt feelings. But this is where I give the disclaimer that if you're that butthurt that easily and you're that easily triggered, no one has a gun to your head to make you read the study, because it's going to be a newsletter as much as it is going to be a page on Facebook, and the page on Facebook is going to be a link to the newsletter. And if you don't want to read it, no one's making you subscribe to it, so there's that. And because it is a newsletter, the comments can be on the page, but you don't get to like make the letter go away. The letter also does, the platform for Substack also has a podcast mechanism too, though. So there is possibility I might take it in that direction to some degree too. But again, when I have had a podcast or two, or live stream rant in the guise of a podcast, it has been sporadic at best. And largely why? Because again, I have things that I do other than that and don't have really time or gumption to do it. So as far down the rabbit hole until I think of other things to speak of, that's about where we are with this. And I'm going to try to do like episode by episode covering a particular subject matter along that theme as we go. And then as the subject evolves in my head, we'll take it in that direction too. But again, it'll be newslettered first, and then we'll go from there. Excuse me. But I did wake up early and I'm kind of yawning. So rather than yawn into the microphone, I am going to take a segment break, do some actual field research, and check up on my track, see how that did. Actually, it's right there. It didn't really do it, but it's not really that mossy stuff. It's like mud. Mud will hold the shape, whereas the mossy, spongy stuff, for obvious reasons, kind of goes back to its shape, and it's not really good tracking fodder. But again, I'm getting yawny and snarky, so I'm going to take a break, and we'll be back in a little bit.